Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. My name is Market Maker 69420, and in this episode, we're going to go over the market open Wednesday. As markets open on Wednesday, February 25th, 2026, Wall Street is showing cautious optimism amid a rebound in technology and AI-related stock. Following Tuesday's solid gains that helped erase some of Monday's tariff and AI disruption fears, futures point to a modestly higher rate, with all eyes on Nvidia's highly anticipated earnings report after the close, expected to be another blockbuster amid ongoing AI enthusiasm. President Trump's recent State of the Union address has shifted focus somewhat, while broader sentiment reflects resilience in equities despite lingering macro uncertainty. Let's talk about the stock market. At the open, major indices are edging higher. Dow futures up around 0.3%, S&P 500 futures up 0.3%, Nasdaq futures leading the gains near 0.5%. This builds around Tuesday's rebound, where the S&P 500 rose 0.8%, the Dow rose 0.8%, and Nasdaq 1.1%, driven by rotation back into tech and software names. When looking at economic indicators and data release, recent data supports a mixed but stable backdrop, with private payroll showing steady hiring, ADP figures indicating around 12,750 jobs added recently, and consumer confidence rising to 91.2 in February. No major U.S. releases today are dominating headlines, but wholesale inventories held steady. When looking at Federal Reserve activity, federal officials, including recent comments on figures like Governor Waller and Chicago Fed President Goolsbee, indicate no imminent policy shift, with emphasis on waiting for clear inflation progress before further adjustment. The 10-year Treasury yield sits around 4.06%, slightly up, but still in a range supportive of risk assets. When looking at earnings reports and corporate news, Nvidia is the main event, with expectations for strong AI-driven results after the bell. Salesforce CRM also reports post-close amid AI impact concerns on software. Pre-market movers include Kava Group soaring on earnings beat, while some like Workday, WDAY, and HPQ dip on results, while Oracle gains on update. When looking at technical analysis and sentiment, indices are in recovery mode after early week volatility, with AI worries easing temporarily. Sentiment leans risk on, though tariff uncertainty lingers. When looking at sector and style rotation, tech and AI-related stocks lead the bounce, with software rebounding. Broader rotation favors growth over value amid rate hope. Let's look at the commodities market. Commodities showing strength, particularly in safe haven and energy. When looking at supply and demand balance inventory, gold benefits from ongoing central bank and investor demand, with JP Morgan forecasting 6,300 per ounce by year-end of 2026. When it comes to geopolitical and macro risks, tariff talks and global uncertainty port gold as ahead. When focusing on sector-specific trends, gold futures up 0.5% near 5,200 per ounce. Some quotes around 5,155 to 5,214, while WTI crude oil up 0.8% around $66.15 per barrel. When focusing on technical indicators, gold is in a strong uptrend, testing higher levels. When we look at cross-asset correlation, we see positive ties to risk-off sentiment in equities, with gold rising alongside equities today on mix of macro signal. Let's talk about cryptocurrency markets. Crypto is rebounding sharply after recent weakness. When you look at volume, liquidity, and volatility, we see high activity, with liquidations exceeding 323 million in 24 hours, fueling a short squeeze and broad rally. When looking at on-chain metrics and network activity, not much is detailed in the current snapshot, but recovery suggests renewed participation. When looking at correlations and risk sentiment, things are aligning with equity, risk on tone, Bitcoin recovering from lows near 62,500. When looking at regulatory and news events, no major new news, but general macro supports are bouncing. When we dive into technical behaviors and patterns, Bitcoin is currently above 65,000 to 66,000, up significantly, showing double bottom potential. Ethereum pushing towards 2,000, up 5 to 7%. In summary, Wednesday's market open reflects renewed confidence in tech and AI leadership, tempered for anticipation for Nvidia's results and ongoing macro/policy watchfulness. Equities open modestly higher, commodities firm, especially gold, and crypto staging a notable recovery, setting the stage for a pivotal day that could define near-term direction in risk asset. All right, that's all I got for you guys today. If you like the content, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you want to support the channel, feel free to buy me a coffee on my Patreon. Thank you. Bye-bye.